Yeah, hello. It's time to noontime prayer. I brought the third Bible study guide of the 3rd of 2025. It titled Exodus. And I got today fourth quarter of 2025, the last quarter, Joshua. Yeah, I expected this. Joshua, yeah. Lessons of faith from Joshua. Yeah, and it has actually 13 lessons on here, and then there are 13 lessons and contents. One from 13, lesson 1, operation, the background and the birth of Moses, 2, the burning bush, 3, rough start, 4, the plagues, 5, Passover, 6, through the Red Sea, 7, the bread and water of life, 8, covenant at Sinai, 9, living the law, 10, the covenant and the blueprint, and 11, apostasy and intercession, 12, please show me your glory, 13, the tabernacle. And today is the lesson 11. Yeah, we already did it, lesson 10 and 11, the apostasy and intercession. Read for this week's study Exodus 32, 1 through 6, Psalms 115, 4 through 8, and Isaiah 44, 9, 10, and Romans 1, 22 through 27, Exodus 32, 7 through 33, 32, Isaiah 53, 4. Actually, I aimed to read all of this, Bible verses, reference verses, but yeah, sometimes I even don't read that time of the parts. So I always skip reading the Bible verses. I'm sorry to myself, and I need to read this. So that's why I read you before the lesson study. Memory text comes from the Exodus 32, 31 and 32. Then Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, these people have committed a great sin and have made for themselves a god of gold. Yet now, if you will forgive their sin, but if not, yet I pray, blot me out of your book which you have written." And Moses had been absent from the camp of Israel for only 40 days. And what happened? God's people had turned away from him and worshipped a human-made idol, a golden calf. After so many mighty signs, experience, and miracles, how could they have done that? And there could be many answers and perhaps some truth in them. Or did the people not understand who God really was? Or were their powerful experience with him overshadowed by their carnal and sinful desires? Did they not appreciate what God had done for them and instead took it all for granted? Was their understanding clouded, marred by their everyday preoccupations and all the simple thinking? What were they simply ungrateful for God's merciful actions on their behalf? Had they so quickly forgotten the mighty acts of God? Psalm 106, 13 and 21 through 23. And had they so quickly forgotten the mighty acts of God? Yeah, or say, or could it all be blamed on Aaron's failed leadership? The Lord was very angry with Aaron and would have destroyed him. Deuteronomy 9:20. Whatever the reasons for this terrible apostasy, what lessons can we draw from it, not only about human sinfulness, but about God's gracious love for humans despite their sinfulness? And Sunday, failed leadership. God called Moses to spend time with him. 40 days and 40 nights might have been a short period for Moses, but it seemed long, too long for the Israelites. Their visible leader was absent. They became disoriented, impatient, fearful, and insecure. They wanted to have a visible God who would lead them. The gods whom they had seen all their lives in either idolatry, idolatrous Egypt. Read Exodus 32 1-6. How was it possible for Aaron's leadership to fail so spectacularly? Uh, yeah, really, spectacularly. Aaron did not rise to the occasion. He failed to seize the moment and do what was right instead of trusting the Lord. He wilted before the majority. The people demanded the unthinkable. Come, make us a God who will go before us. Exodus 32:1. And he consented. People willingly have called to make the idol, and Aaron not only did not stop them, but in fact he invited them to donate. He then participated in the molding of this fourth god. Afterward, the people declared, "This is your God, Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt." Exodus 32:4. So simple, wicked, and short-sighted, they had just fabricated this idol and then stated that the idol had delivered them. Isn't it amazing how simple desires can pervert our thinking and actions? People celebrate their own creations, and their humanity and morality become debased in the process. Such a crisis demanded a man of firmness, decision, and unflinching courage on who held the honor of God above popular favor, personal safety, or life itself. But the present leader of Israel was not of this character. Aaron feebly demonstrated with the people, but his wavering and timidity at the critical moment only rendered them the more determined. The tumult increased. A blind, unreasoning frenzy seemed to take possession of the multitude. There was some who remained true to their covenant with God, but the greater part of the people joined in the apostasy. Aaron feared for his own safety, and instead of nobly standing up for the honor of God, he yielded to the demands of the multitude. The Patriarchs and the Prophets, page 316 and 17. How could Aaron, our leader, have been so weak? In what ways might Aaron have sought to justify in his own heart his terrible actions? And Monday, idolatry and evil. And what ways today that humans worship the creation instead of the Creator, and Tuesday, corrupting themselves. Yeah, why did God send Moses back to the camp of Israel? Exodus 32:7-8. Yeah, we are very creative and inventive in this regard. We can turn anything that is good, beautiful, and meaningful into an idol. Idolatry is extremely dangerous because it transforms our personality, our way of thinking, our affections, and our social life. It changes our identity and replaces genuine personal relationships with hollow and ultimately meaningless interactions, but that in the end cannot save us. Yeah. And Wednesday, God's righteous rest. And yeah, what should this story teach us about the power of intercessory prayer? Whom should you be praying for right now? And the Thursday intercession, yeah, the Exodus 32, 33, 32. How far did Moses go in his intercessory prayer for sinners? And Moses asked God himself to bear the sins of people, and eventually in Jesus he does just that. How do we wrap our minds around this amazing truth? What does it tell us about God's love for fallen humanity? Yeah, let's go to prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen, amen, amen. Yeah, thank you for your Lord's prayer, your prayer for us, each of us. Yeah, yeah, I expect the Joshua new version of study guide of what's the next lessons contents I hear. Yeah, let me read because the just 11 minutes, so I'm gonna go with Joshua lesson 1. Recite recipe for success. Sometimes I always hard to read the recipe. It is hard to pronounce to me. Yeah, recipe for success. Surprises by Grace 3. Memorials of grace for the conflict behind all conflicts. 5. God fights for you. 6. The enemy within. 7. Ultimate loyalty, worship in a war, John, worship in a war, John. 8. Giants of faith, Joshua and Caleb. And 9. Heirs of promises, prisoners of hope. 10. The true Joshua. 11. Living in the land. 12. God is faithful. 13. Choose this day. Yeah. I love Joshua. Yeah, see you. Yeah, may God bless all of you. Yeah.